everyone, it's Mia1 and welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to talk about the circulatory system. Now, the circulatory system is a system which transports blood all around your body and you couldn't survive without it. Basically, it's vital. Now, before we start this PowerPoint, I want you to like, subscribe and ring that notification bell so you can see whenever we get any new videos. It really helps us a lot. And thank you if you've already done that. Now, let's see this presentation. Okay, let's start. So there's the title screen, the circulatory system. Now, let us move on. Oh, it goes here. Introduction. The circulatory system is a system which carries blood around the body. The circulatory system is made up of the heart, here, the lungs, the blood, of course, and the veins and arteries. You don't really mention that. The three main components are the heart, the lungs, and the blood. Now, the blood has different components, and it circles around the body to give oxygen to your organs and cells. From the next slides, we will talk more about the circulatory system. The blood can either be oxygenated or deoxygenated. The oxygenated blood is blood with very little oxygen, and oxygenated blood is blood with a lot of oxygen. Now, some notes before we continue. We do not talk about capillaries in this presentation, but capillaries are basically events which you could say they connect the arteries and veins together, because they do. And another thing is that if you see on this diagram, you can see that one side is blue, one side is red. That's representing the blood. Now, the blue blood, the scientists will say blue blood and red blood. Now, blue blood is blood which does not have any oxygen. It's rich in carbon dioxide. It has lots of carbon dioxide. It collects the carbon dioxide when it goes through the body, which we'll talk about more later. And the oxygen-rich blood, it's red. Oxygen-rich means like there's a lot of oxygen. So basically blue blood is deoxygenated blood and red blood is oxygenated blood. It's an easier abbreviation, I guess, if you want to say it like that. And last thing, when I'm saying cells, it's not like red blood cells, white blood cells. I'm talking about skin cells, the cells in your body that make up your skin. Red blood cells and white blood cells do most of the job, as we'll also talk about later. So, let us continue. Oh, circles there? Wait. Here we are. So, the heart. The heart is an organ the size of your own fist. You can find it at the center left of your body. It's made of the muscle and it's connected to veins and arteries. The heart pumps blood so that the blood can speed through the veins and arteries. By pumping, it basically pushes the blood. Now, the veins and arteries have valves which open and close, which prevent the blood from going the wrong direction. You can sometimes feel them as your pulse or your heart beating. They're kind of the same thing. I think they're synchronized. I'm not that much of a doctor, but I'm giving you the main information here, so okay. But there's a lot of information in this one, so let us continue. Now, veins. Veins bring deoxygenated blood to bring the heart to get oxygen. Veins bring deoxygenated blood to the heart to get oxygen. So the veins go to the heart. They don't actually go to the heart, and that means that blood goes to the heart from the veins. So now, an easy way to remember this is saying that arteries take the blood away. Arteries take it away, since arteries in a way have alliteration. Now, alliteration is a commonly used thing in writing where two words will have the same starting letter. Like bee, bumblebee, or bee, butterfly, board, bread. Or you could say like cat, centaur. I don't know, I'm taking anything, but it works. And it's mostly used to grab attention. So, or it could be used as a pseudonym. And a pseudonym here is basically what this is. It's some kind of trick used in grammar, which will help you remember things. Like for example, arteries always, since they have the same alliteration, then it helps you remember it. For some people, it honestly helps me remember if I forget. So yeah, that's veins. Now let's move on to arteries. Okay, arteries take oxygenated blood to the organs and cells. The arteries take the blood away from the heart around the body. So they collect oxygen from the lungs, which we'll talk about later too, and they take it around the body. They don't take the arteries. They take the blood away from the heart around the body to transport oxygen. So I'm not going to go in much further details. We'll do that later. So okay, the blood inside you. This is an important part because you want to know, what does your blood do? The blood doesn't actually do it. The components of your blood do it, mostly. So, your blood protects you from diseases and carries oxygen to all the cells in your body for you to function properly. The blood you have is made up of 4 different things you need to survive. And in the next slides, we're going to be talking about these components of your blood, which are plasma, red blood cells, also known as RBCs, white blood cells, also known as WBCs, and platelets. So, now that we've got that over, right? Now, plasma. Plasma is a yellow liquid which looks like urine, but its main use is to carry red and white blood cells around and platelets. Without this, these cells that are important for you might not be able to get around. They make up 55% of blood. Now, I know you all know that blood as a liquid, it's red. Yeah, but actually the main component, the plasma, it's yellow. So it's actually red because from the arteries and everything that's inside the arteries. But I think if you take it out, maybe after some time, you'll get yellow plasma. Now, I'm not saying all true facts here. I'm saying that some things that I say in extra, I'm saying that plasma, it's actually yellow, but it's shown as red in the arteries and veins, and I don't know why it becomes red there. You guys can research that. You can put it down in the comments below, actually. So you can also become a brainiac, because there are things you can also find out, but I'm giving you the main information here again, so let's continue. Now, red blood cells. RBCs in short, these cells are very important because they need to carry the oxygen from the lungs and through the heart to the organs and cells to energize them. Oh, okay. That got a skip. Let's go back there. So I'm gonna repeat again. RBCs in short. Wow. Okay. So, RBCs in short, these cells are very important because they need to carry oxygen from the lungs and through the heart to the organs and cells to energize them, and they carry carbon dioxide to the lungs from the body so that you can breathe the CO2 out as waste. So, red blood cells are very important. They make up 44% of what's in your blood. So, plasma is 55% and red blood cells is 44%. Now, next, white blood cells. Now, WBCs in short, these cells fight infection and diseases by swallowing them in whole. I mean by this that if any bacteria go close enough to the WBC, the cell will open like it has a mouth and then surround the bacteria, enclosing on it, and finally it's absorbed by the WBC so it can be gone. Now next. Wait, where is it? Okay, platelets. Now, platelets are brown microscopic things which clot blood whenever you have a wound so that no vital blood can escape. Since you need blood to properly function, the platelet clot will harden up and then peel off when the wound is healed. Now, platelets and white blood cells make up 0.01% of the blood. I don't know what the other components of blood are, but the main ones are platelets, white blood cells, red blood cells, and plasma. Yeah. So now another thing about platelets is that the platelet clot is actually, if you know the word scabs, it's those brown things that you see. They're made up of platelets, so scabs. So there we are. Now next. Reading a graph is very important because reading a graph, it normally comes in when scientists are trying to understand anything. So reading a graph, it's good to know. There are going to be like some line graphs, so you know those line graphs that move up and down. If it moves up, you know the value of something, I guess, it increases, and when it goes down, the value of something decreases, and that makes sense. So now bar graphs. Bar graphs are also a very easy way to make sense of something. It makes sense also because it has a logic certain to it, and that logic is the bars if it's smaller or higher. If it's small, then it's a lower quantity, but if it's high, it has a higher quantity. So basically there's bar graphs and line graphs. You might already know them. I might be explaining a complicated way, but in a summary short, bar graphs, they have bars. If it's low, there's a low amount of something. If it's high, it's a high amount of something, and they can be used to compare. And if there's a line graph, if it decreases, it goes down the value, and if it increases, the value goes high. So that's basically a simple short summary, and that's the most common way to record data sometimes, but it's the most main way, and you'll see it. Also, there's pictograms sometimes, but they're not really that much used, maybe for studies, but they're not really that used, pictograms, maybe just for fun. I don't really know, but yes. Next. Okay, so your pulse rate. Your pulse rate is the number of beats of your heart per minute. You can find your pulse in various ways. A way is by feeling the side of your neck on the left part of your wrist. To find your pulse rate, you need to count the number of beats you felt in 30 seconds and double it by 2 to get your pulse rate. That's one way. Basically, you can take like the factors of 60. That's basically the numbers that are taken to multiply. If you multiply two numbers together, you get 60. So you can just count in 1 minute, which is 60 seconds. Or you could just count in like 10 seconds and multiply by 6, but it's not that accurate. If you want to get even more accurate using a short way, you can take the average. Now, here's some more maths. The average of something, if you don't know, is basically, in this case, you'll take, if we're taking 10 seconds, there will be 6 times you take it. So we'll have to add up all of your pulse rates in those 6 times. Then divide it by 6, because 6 times you took your pulse rate, and you'll get the accurate average. You can also say averages as a means. And also, more about the graphs before. I just want to go on that slide. Now, graphs. I forgot to really explain what a pictogram is if you don't know, because I want to give as much information as possible that I know for sure. Now, pictograms or graphs are not really used. I don't think they're actually used for science, but they're just used. They could be just for an easy understanding, like for most common people use them sometimes. So basically pictograms, like you have a shape, an emoji you could say, any shape or something. Like for example, you can take like a smiley face. One smiley face you can write down, one smiley face is equal to 2 of happy customers. So like you can say, like there's going to be bar lines which you can read. So there's gonna be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like, then it's gonna have like a list of those emojis, and if there's like half of them, maybe like half of 2 is 1, so you could have 3 of them and then a half one. So like 4, there would be 7 happy customers, because 2 free times plus 1. So basically, all of them sometimes include math, but they're also easy to understand. Pictograms are very easy to understand. So, and they always use pictograms. You don't have to worry if it becomes that hard, because in normal ways they always use pictograms with like normal values, like 50. Like, it's easy to count in it. It's basically the multiples of 5 and going with 0. It could be like 2 or something. It could be in any value. So all of those are easy to understand. Now on with graphs and pulse rate. The drip of your blood. The drip of your blood is very important. Now your blood goes through a cycle which starts when your blood goes to the lungs through the right atrium. Then it goes through the right ventricle. So it will basically go through the right atrium, and then it's gonna wait for an opening and to get to the right ventricle. Then it'll get a push from the heart using the openings that try to push the blood, and it goes all the way. Now when your blood goes there, it has to collect oxygen because it's full of carbon dioxide. It gave all the oxygen away to the body, so it goes to the lungs to collect oxygen, and it throws away carbon dioxide from the lungs, which you will breathe out as waste from your lungs. So when you breathe in, then so basically you can try breathing in right now. It's how fast it goes. The red blood cells basically just release the carbon dioxide and in the oxygen. So basically, if you breathe in, the oxygen it goes through that whole cycle, and while the carbon dioxide goes away, and it's basically a multiple cycle, and it's all stored in there. So that's how fast it actually goes. Now on to the cycle. Now after it collects the oxygen, it goes to the heart for another push, and so it goes to the left atrium and then to the left ventricle to get another push, and then it takes its trip around the body, giving oxygen and collecting carbon dioxide, and then, as you know, it would go to the heart to take another push to the lungs to give off the waste and collect in the oxygen. So that's how, it's not that complicated. It's easy to learn once you get familiar with it, but this all happens in like a fraction of seconds and milliseconds, I think. I'm not sure about the exact number. Now, a balanced diet is very good for your health. Having a balanced diet means to have a variety of foods which give you the nutrients you need to survive. These nutrients are important to us because they have vital roles for our body. There are 7 groups of food according to what they give us, and these nutrient groups are proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins and minerals, fats and oils, fiber, dairy, and water. Now, you might not have heard water, and you might be asking why water is a food group. We'll get to that later. Also, wait, let me check. I don't think there's a fats and oil slide here. So before we start with the real slides, then we'll go to, you just got a preview of what's coming up. Now we'll go to fats and oils already from the start. So now, fats and oils are basically like your sweets, your chocolate, all of those sweet stuff which are not healthy for you. Well, people say they're not healthy for you, and that is true if you eat it in a large amount. If you eat in a small amount, like once a week, it's fine. But if you eat a large amount of it, no, it's not fine. Definitely not. So then, next thing we're going to say about fats and oils. fats and oils actually can give you energy, but for a short time. Remember this, for a short time. And because of the short time, this addiction happens. Like, you need more energy, so you eat more of the sweets. It's like, except if you try to control yourself, which you can control yourself and you won't get that much sweets, but sometimes you'll get an addiction and you eat more and more because you need more energy, and because you'll get energized for a bit, then you need more. So keep that in mind, because there's going to be a next reference to that later. So yes, protein. There are food that give us protein, which helps our body grow and repair itself. Protein also helps build up your muscles and skin. Here's some types of protein foods. It's not their food, they're foods. Anyways, there's meat. Meat gives you protein. Fish, beef, pork, chicken, they all do that. Beans, pulses like basically beans, and lentils, they're all beans. Lentils, you could call them that, but they all give you protein. But there could be different variations and everything, but those are the main ones. Okay, I'm basically giving you the main foods here for these vitamins and minerals, these nutrients that you need. Now, carbohydrates. Some foods are carbohydrates. Carbohydrates give you energy, and it burns up and lasts for a long time. Here's some foods which are carbohydrates. Now, before when I said, remember how fats and oils, they give you a short amount of energy? This is the difference, and why carbohydrates is basically a more healthy or alternative to fats and oils. A very different and more healthier route, because it gives you energy like fats and oils, but it burns up for a long time, so you can exercise and it still will be there for some time. While sweets, it just has it goes on for a bit of a time, and it's like how in a graph, like for example, fats and oils, it goes up quickly, then it goes down quickly, while carbohydrates, it slowly goes up and gives you lots of energy, then it goes down, but it still has a lot of energy in store, so that's good for you. Now, bread, rice, pasta, spaghetti, cereal, and cornflakes, and potatoes are all foods which can give you carbohydrates. They're not main foods, they're just foods that we all know. We mostly all know. Now, next, okay, dairy. These foods give dairy. When eaten, these foods, they give you calcium, which is what your teeth and bones are made of. So all your teeth and all your bones, they are made out of some calcium. So here's some examples of foods: milk, yogurt and cheese, whipped cream, butter. But if consumed alone, consider fats and oil with cheese. Now, butter and cheese, it's basically one of those foods, if you consume in a little amount, it's fine. But don't consume in so much of a large amount, because then it'll be fats and oils, it'll be unhealthy. So, now, vitamins and minerals. Fruits and vegetables are basically vitamins and minerals, and they're needed to make your body function properly. Oh, it's still going. Anyways, let me fix that. Yes, so they're needed to make your body function properly. So here's some examples of fruit and vegetables which give you vitamins and minerals. You need these foods to help your body function properly, because it's vital. All of these are vital, but you need to have them in a shared amount. Apples and bananas, oranges, lemons, cauliflowers, mint, eggplant, and chili. And if you can see in the picture, there's onions, carrots, cauliflowers, potatoes. That's dragon fruit, I think. I don't know what that is. Cabbage, some kind of lettuce. It looks like a broccoli and a cabbage together. I don't know, actually. Looks like a cabbage. And chili, mint, maybe? Garlic, mint? Mint, I think. Not garlic, actually. Mint. You guys can put if I'm correct or wrong in the comments below too. Eggplants, it's a very small eggplant for size. I normally see like the long ones. And there's pepper too. Pepper. Okay, wait, what? It's still going. Anyways, fiber. Fruits high in fiber usually have the whole grain use. So they're used in agriculture, basically farmers' work in wheat. So if they have the whole grain used, then they're considered high in fiber, because the whole grain, it means that there's lots of fiber in it. Now, fiber helps your digestion by cleaning your digestive system. So basically it cleans your liver, your small intestines, large intestines, your stomach, your pancreas. But I think it mostly cleans your large intestines, your small intestines, your sarcophagus too. But I think it's mostly your large intestines and small intestines, because that's where all the food really goes and you need them. Otherwise, like, if you don't have fiber, then diarrhea will come. Diarrhea is basically a disease where if you have constipation. Constipation is like, it's hard to get all that poo out. And you can't really stop pooing. It's a weird thing to say, but basically it lets you poo and pee fibers. So you need it. Now, whole grain cereal, brown rice, brown bread, brown pasta, like anything brown, because it's whole grain, and whole grain fudgy, whole grain, I don't know, pitas or something, fajitas, bread rolls, whole grain anything. It's normally carbohydrates, whole grain, really. I think fiber is basically kind of a part of carbohydrates. It's basically carbohydrates high in fiber, really. Because whole grain cereal, brown rice, brown bread, brown pasta can also be included in carbohydrates, but not really. I think I'm not sure if it's only considered in fiber, but I think it can also be considered in carbohydrates too. It just needs to be brown to be like very high in fiber. Though some other things have fiber too, like some fruits also have fiber. And now, water. This has water itself, but it can also have other healthy drinks. Now, the water group is basically any drink that's healthy for you. The water group also helps your digestion and hydrates you. That means you won't become thirsty a lot. So here's some examples of drinks from the water group. Milk, water, coffee, and tea. And they're all healthy. Now, the reason why I said like fresh juice, well, juice, even like it's fresh juice from like fruits, it still has a lot of sugar in it. Some fruits also have a lot of sugar, and it's very unhealthy when it has juice cartons, because there's all those added chemicals to it. So that's going to be bad and unhealthy for you. So water, milk, water, coffee, and tea are recommended. Juice, if it's fresh and it's actually very healthy, is just a bit of sugar, maybe just a bit of sugar or no sugar. I don't think there would be any no sugar, but it's okay to have it sometimes, so a regulated amount, but it's not really part of the water group. Now, what we're seeing next is drugs. Drugs and its effects. Now, there's some drugs which are helpful to you, and there are ones which are harmful to you. There's this thing where people think drugs and medicines are different. They think drugs are bad, medicines are good, because drugs are normally used like when it's bad. No, drugs and medicines are the same thing, actually. I used to think when I was small, drugs are bad, medicines are good, but no. Actually, sometimes it depends on the way you use them. Now, some people, maybe they might be in depression and they're sad, so they take some drug which is actually meant in the pharmacy, and it's actually meant for good cause, but they take it unnecessarily sometimes, like maybe some kind of depression pill, an overdose or something, and then they get addicted and they get harmed. The circulatory system, everything in them gets harmed, and or they're illegally made. Like nicotine, they're illegally grown. Like tobacco, it's illegally grown, but you only get fined, I think, if you sometimes drink too many cigarettes. But I don't know, if you can get fined, or it's sometimes banned, but you can get arrested if you grow them. Anyways, either way, they're both equally bad, one being more bad and the other not really like that, but they're all equally bad now. Now harmful drugs, they're used in hospitals but you only have to take the good dose. And now harmful drugs, they're legally made, or they're made but consumed for the wrong reasons. These drugs can be damaging to your organs and cells, especially the tar and nicotine in cigarettes. Now, next part. Cigarettes and nicotine. Now, cigarettes are approximately made of 600 ingredients. If you burn a cigarette, more than 7,000 chemicals will be released, and 69 of them cause cancer. Now, many of these chemicals are also toxic, but they are all mostly hazardous, but because of the nicotine, people get cancer. People get addicted to cigarettes. Now, arsenic and bleach are some of the deadly chemicals. So arsenic is basically the rat poison. It is used in rat poison, and bleach is like that chemical used for cleaning. So therefore, to be safe, always follow a doctor's prescription. But don't take cigarettes. Cigarettes are just bad. Like, even if the nicotine is so powerful that if you drink one cigarette, then you will get instantly addicted. So I tell you to avoid it, and don't even try and start. And if you have started, then it don't stop. I don't think anybody started, because cigarettes is bad. I haven't started, I'm young. But anyways, so you have to follow a doctor's prescription when you take a drug, so that your circulatory system won't get damaged. So basically, like I said, take the good dose. That means take what the doctor says, but not higher, not lower, but the exact prescription. Like, take this in the night 2 times, or take this in the day 1 time only. So just take it in the specific following, so that nothing in your body will get damaged. There may be side effects, but you'll be fine in the end. So with this slide, that brings the end to our video. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And in the end, please like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, and comment down below if you learned anything. And help us on this journey of learning and having fun. And so what I'm going to say now is goodbye. Have a great day, and goodbye.